On July 24, 1924, Elizabeth Short was born to a Cleo and Phoebe Short. She was one of 5 daughters. In her early childhood, her family moved to Medford, Massachusetts, the famous town of where Paul Revere wrote his Midnight Rider. Her father, Cleo, launched a successful business building miniature golf courses, but was quickly lost in the 1929 stock market crash. Unfortunately, Cleo abandoned his family, disappearing to the Western Mountains. The Short family eventually moved into a meager apartment building next to the Passios, who later became dear friends of the Shorts, and there Phoebe found a job as a bookkeeper. Elizabeth, or Betty, as she was known to be called by her close friends and family, developed a close relationship with the Passios' daughter, Mary. They spent much time together, particularly with seeing movies, such as Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire flicks. The most popular film that starred Betty's dream of being an actress was Gone with the Wind, starring Clark Gable and Vivien Leigh.
God is my witness. As God is my witness, they're not going to lick me. I'm going to live through this, and when it's all over, I'll never be hungry again. No, nor any of my folks. If I have to lie, tease, or cheat, or kill, as God is my witness, I'll never be hungry again.
When she turned 19 in 1943, Betty took a train cross country to meet up with her father in order to pursue her dream. Her father coincidentally lived in the outskirts of San Francisco. When Betty moved in with her father, it was expected that she would work there as a maid, but she was a free spirit. Instead, she found a job in the mailroom at Lompoc, 2.5 hours north of LA at Camp Cook. Short was surrounded by lonely soldiers who were on the verge of being sent to war. It was stated by witnesses that the young soldiers longed and clamored for her whenever she walked by. They voted her Camp Cutie and told her she was of movie star quality.
I haven't got the 2 sides to her at the table.
I'll go get it.
However, it ended a few months later when she was arrested for underage drinking at a Santa Barbara bar and was shipped home to Medford, Massachusetts. Over the next few years, she drifted back and forth across the country from Medford, Chicago, Florida, California, and back to Medford. It became a cycle of hers. She'd serve as a waitress at these locations, which paid her journey wherever she went, feeding her lust and compulsion of experiencing life. She frequently went to nightclubs, absorbing the dancing to swing, jazz, and bebop, and the fashion clothing, of course. She loved men and often seduced them. Music and the whole atmosphere at all she loved. She was always around someone when she wanted to. She particularly fancied men in uniform, but this all ended in December of 1944. She found her first lover, which ended her playgirl lifestyle. Her lover was a major in the Army of a unit called the Flying Tigers. His name was Matt Gordon.
Kiss me once.
They were close lovers and in preparations for marriage, but tragedy struck when Major Gordon was killed in the war shortly after he was shipped out. His death was devastating, and she abruptly returned to her playgirl lifestyle, but this time she did it not out of excitement, but to conceal her heartache. In July of '46, she returned to Southern California and redeveloped a relationship with Joseph Finkley, a handsome Air Force lieutenant. They had met previously when she worked at Camp Cook, since he was stationed there. Their relationship was at most a roller coaster, for Finkley often wrote in private letters experiencing irritancy with Short's flirtations towards other men. He also wrote in these letters of how he ranked in her heart compared to other men. Apparently, she wasn't able to convince him that he did mean something to her. The relationship became distant as he relocated to Southern Carolina to work as a commercial airline pilot. They kept in touch till her death. The last letter he received from her was dated January 8, 1947, stating she was going to move to Chicago in hope of being a fashion model. Her nickname, though, the Black Dahlia, is still a mystery. Some acquaintances of her believe she was called the Black Dahlia because she wore all black. But her friend Mary Passio stated their nickname originated from the 1946 film The Blue Dahlia, starring Alan Ladd and Veronica Lake.